The power grid has been dead for 3 days straight. Your neighborhood watch lasted exactly 2 nights before the yelling, the panic, and the every man for himself speeches tore it apart. There's a guy a couple blocks over who's been perched on his roof with binoculars all afternoon, and you're fairly confident he's not looking for migrating birds. Yesterday was the last time the police bothered answering calls. Your Ring doorbell is now nothing more than a dead plastic circle stuck to your wall. And the sun's dropping fast. You've got maybe 30 minutes before the real problems wake up. Don't panic. We're about to turn your quiet suburban house into a hardened, strong point using duct tape, frustration, and whatever odds and ends are hiding in your junk drawer. Let me share something beautiful. Your front door, the thing you trust to keep trouble out, is basically held together with screws barely thicker than a pinky nail. That metal strike plate? It's attached to flimsy decorative trim with hardware so weak a mildly determined Labrador could bust through it. One kick. One size, one boot. And your secure entry becomes a polite invitation. But here's the wonderful part about civilization collapsing. Every hardware store in town is either completely ransacked or mysteriously wide open, which means you're about to get very creative with the tools already sitting in your garage. Phase 1, the door. We start with the front door not because it's the weakest point, but because people assume it's strong. Assumptions are weapons, and we're going to use that. Grab your drill. Find the longest screws you own, 3-inch, 4-inch, the big brutes you bought for a project you never finished. Rip out the sad little half-inch screws sitting in your strike plate and hinges. Replace them with the long monsters and drive them deep until they bite into the wall studs. What you've just done is transform your frame from polite suggestion into load-bearing reality. When someone kicks this door now, the shock travels into the bones of the house itself. They'll wreck their foot before they wreck your entryway. Congrats, you just bought 3 precious minutes of kick resistance at the cost of a handful of screws. Now, the hinges. Same treatment, long screws, every hole. Because smart intruders don't attack the lock, they attack the hinge side. Pop the pins, lift the door, walk in. But not anymore. Your hinges are now anchored into the skeleton of your wall. They'd need a power saw and 20 minutes, both things they absolutely do not have. Barricade time. See that wooden dowel from your closet? The one sagging under shirts you haven't worn since 2018? Jam it between the door handle and the floor at an angle. Congratulations. Physics is now your personal security guard. No dowel? Use a chair, a broom, a mop. That decorative ore you bought because it gave coastal vibes. Everything is a tool now. Phase 2. Windows lie. Windows aren't protection, they're pre-installed entries coded in denial. We're going to make them painful and loud to use. Duct tape the gray miracle worker. Crisscross every ground floor window in a tight grid. Not for decoration, for structure. Untaped glass explodes. Taped glass clings, spiderwebs, refuses to fall out. An intruder will hit a sticky, slicing, clattering nightmare. And every shard they tug free will sound like someone crunching chips inside a funeral home. Push your heaviest furniture against the windows, dressers, shelves, that treadmill you only use to hang laundry. Even if they break the glass, they'll hit a 200-pound obstacle. Obstacles mean time. Time means noise. Noise means they leave. Close your curtains, not because you're scared, but because they can't attack what they can't predict. Uncertainty is psychological armor. Let their imagination do the work. Phase 3. The sliding door joke. Sliding glass doors, are architectural pranks. Most can be lifted right off their tracks. Cut a piece of wood, a broomstick, a 2x4 to wedge in the track. Instant lock. Then go further. Drill a downward hole through the sliding frame into the fixed frame and drop a bolt or nail in. Now the whole thing is pinned in place. Drilling it out would be noisy, slow, and obvious. For extra spite, smear the outside handle with grease, oil, or that ancient mayo lurking in your fridge. Disgust is sometimes a deterrent, too. Phase 4. Garage doors are traitors. A garage door can be popped open in seconds with a wire hanger. There's an emergency release latch inside an intruder fishes for it and pulls. Boom. They're in. Solution: zip tie the release handle. Use several. You can still break it in a real emergency, but a coat hanger won't budge it. Unplug the opener. No power equals no quiet automatic lift. Now they'd need to heave a heavy metal door manually, slow, loud, and obvious. Park a car inside if possible. Even if they get the door open, they're facing 2 tons of nope. Phase 5. Psychological warfare. Security isn't just walls, it's fear. Don't have a dog? That's fine. Put a giant metal water bowl by the back door. Scatter a shredded rope toy in the yard. Hang a thick chain leash on the fence. Post a "Beware of dog" sign with something that looks like it eats burglars for fun. Why does it work? Because dogs are chaotic. A maybe dog is enough to push criminals somewhere else. Next, boots. Big, muddy size 1-3 work boots by the door. It implies a large, tool-owning, problem-solving adult is home. Leave a radio playing talk shows. Human voices equals witnesses. Witnesses equals risk. Set a couple lights on timers in random patterns. Looks like someone is awake and walking around. Uncertainty is your best friend. Phase 6. The perimeter. You've secured the structure. Now you make approaching it miserable. Pour gravel beneath windows and along paths. You cannot walk on gravel quietly. Every step is an alarm. Plant thorny bushes under windows. Anything with spikes becomes a biological razor wire. Set up subtle hazards. A hose stretched across a dark walkway. A broken motion light with a visible sensor they won't know it's broken. Phase 7. Interior fallback. Everything you've done buys time. But if someone gets in, you need a safe room. Pick one room, preferably a bedroom. Reinforce its door exactly like the front door. Long screws, strong lock, barricade. Inside the room keep a charged phone, flashlight, water, snacks, something to defend yourself, and a plan. Create a family code word, something absurd you'd never say accidentally, like pineapple thunderstorm. Hear it? Everyone moves to the safe room. No heroics. Here's the science behind all this. You're not building a bunker. You're making your home statistically worse to break into than the one next door. Criminals do risk-reward math. Every noise, every delay, every uncertainty stacks against them. 3 minutes is the magic number. If it takes longer, they give up. Your reinforced door? 3 extra minutes. Your fake dog? Instant doubt. Your gravel path? Constant noise. Stack enough small problems, and the equation stops making sense for them. They move on, and you live.